Hey, what's up, everybody? Justin again. Here to review you another J drama from the late 90s, Seija no Koushin. So, Seija no Koushin was broadcasted back in 1997 and was actually based on, I won't say based on, but inspired by a true story called the Mito Incident. So pretty much what the Mito incident was in the mid-90s. So if you don't know where Mito is, it's about, let's say, it's the capital of Ibaraki Prefecture. So if you were to, let's say, take the Joban line, it's give or take, let's say, 2 to 3 hours from Tokyo Station. So there was this cardboard box factory, and this factory had a work program for those that were mentally handicapped. And as it turns out, there was a scandal behind it where the mentally handicapped workers were being exploited and abused and not being paid their fair wages, and the female employees were being sexually abused. And as a result, Seija no Koushin, meaning when the saints go marching in, they made this drama inspired by it. So the main character is Toa Machida, played by Issei Ishida, who had this particular drama is filled with cast members who've had their fair share of scandals over the last 20 years. Issei Ishida, Ryoko Hirosue, and Noriko Sakai being one of them. So he plays a 20-year-old or 21-year-old mentally handicapped person. So for all intents and purposes, he's practically has the mental capacity of a kindergarten boy. And no longer being able to, handle him, his parents decide to, put him in a work program, factory at a factory. And there he meets other people who are also have the same mental capacity as him. And also at the same time, they participate in a music program at a local high school that is being maintained by Noriko Sakai's character. And also the main character, Toa, he's also befriends one of the students at the school, played by Ryoko Hirosue. And their friendship just kind of causes like complications since her father is the mayor of the local town, and her father is also good friends with the guy who runs the factory. And because of their relationship, they just feel that, hey, it can complicate things. Even though there is an indication that, hey, the boy does have romantic feelings for Ryoko Hirosue's character, it kind of doesn't really go, further than romance. But, they do share, a very unique relationship, a friendship, regardless. Like, with Ryoko Hirosue's character, she's just a rebellious teenager. As a result of, let's say, losing her mother and her father remarrying, she kind of feels like she's being cast out, and she pretty much lashes out at society or at school by, violating the rules by dyeing her hair and, running away a lot. It's just like her way of getting attention. And when she meets Toa, despite, his mental capacity, they do form a very unique kinship, because, they're both outcasts and they both relate in their own unique ways. And unfortunately, when it comes to Toa and his friends at the factory, they are being relentlessly abused by the people who run the factory. And eventually, by the time the series progresses, it gets worse and worse and worse. And I won't really go into too much detail. So yes, this is, even for its time, it was kind of considered a very dark and controversial drama, due to the content behind it. So, if abuse against, let's say, people not with the mental capacity of children is something that disturbs you, this is something that's kind of, I won't say ignored, but it is very disturbing, but it does kind of tell a story. This is kind of like, unfortunately, some of the reality of what happens to some of these people, not just in Japan, but in some parts of the world. Like, take, for example, a few years ago, this one guy snuck into a hospital or a home of people with special needs and just, killed some of them. And, I'm not saying, that is pretty sick, but, we kind of need to be aware that, hey, not only do these people exist, but, the abuse of them is also an unfortunate reality. And this drama, unfortunately, I wouldn't say does a good job of it, but, it just really gets to the core point of it where, it really can make you cry to some degree. But, yeah. You will be. This is probably one of the most, it really pushes it, to everything you can think of. I mean, so I'm not saying that what's what makes it a good or bad drama. It just what it does to tell its story. And yeah, and it does a good job making you feel for these characters, feel sympathetic, and like, hey, we really need to look out for, the people who can't defend themselves. And especially in, particular societies, where this shouldn't be happening in. But yeah, it does have a good core supporting and, main cast. But it's kind of unfortunate that, in the last 20 years, Issei Ishida, Ryoko Hirosue, and Noriko Sakai have, had their particular scandals, but don't let that dilute the fact that, this is a pretty unique drama in itself. And other, big name actors that are featured in this is, of course, Masanobu Ando. He plays one of the biggest supporting characters. He's famous for playing Kiriyama in Battle Royale. Akiko Hinagata, who was formerly a model turned actress. She's also a very prominent character. Ryo Matsumoto, who later changed her name to Megumi Matsumoto. She's also a prominent character. So, yeah, there's a lot of, good actors here, that are both active today and back then. So, as to how I watched this particular drama, I saw it on Japan's Hulu. So, if you have Hulu here in Japan or have access to it, then I do recommend that you watch this. And I think it kind of shows like, hey, with the power of community and caring, we can prevent, these issues in real life.